Is Thursday, June 15th, 2017. You're watching MMA Junkie Radio. I like what you did there, John. And Danny will now know that I'm not making fun of him because Danny will always tell us every day there's 2 minutes. And I told him that sounds stupid. Instead, what you should do is every day go 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
It's like being at the Laker game,
like
right?
being at the Laker game, right? Yeah. And so now he does it. And I think there's a little piece of him that thinks, is this asshole just making me do this because he thinks it's funny?
2 minutes.
But it's an actual thing, Danny.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
See? That's
you've made me do so many things that like later on like I find out like the time that you said, hey, I'm getting everybody to say their name, so I just need you to say your name,
yeah.
but say it really weird. And then I found out it was part
great.
of a theme song that now anytime I mention anything about my house, you play it.
Have you ever seen the show New Girl?
Yeah,
I
that's a
have
great
not.
show,
So
dude.
it's this chick that lives with all these dudes in like a loft. And
Right.
that's Danny. He lives in a loft with like 6 people. But the theme music.
6 chicks or 6 people?
People.
Okay.
People,
It's
yeah.
Okay.
It's not as cool.
Some
now. Go
girls,
ahead.
some guys.
What
Okay.
is your theme song, Danny? Do you have it? Oh, here it is. So
You have it.
this
His
is the
theme,
theme
his
song.
theme song is 2 minutes.
Well, I tricked Danny into recording something so that I could change the theme song.
Hey girl,
Uh,
what you doing? Hey girl, where you going? Who's that girl? Who's that girl?
It's Dan.
Jess.
So I told him I needed his name for some I don't
Like
know
a
what
30.
I said. But
I love it.
so I understand.
I forget
Danny,
what
why
you
would
said.
do it.
Yeah. So.
But 2 minutes is a real thing. That's what she said. That's what I said.
oh, hey. How you doing, Big Daddy? Good to see you. Sorry, let me get out of your way.
What's up?
Gotta make room for Big Daddy.
Coming up
Good.
to 10.
Good.
Stand by.
So you were at headquarters yesterday. That's cool.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
All right, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Gold. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yes!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Go.
From the fight capital of the world inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes, our ace co-host. I know. Danny back east, handling the producing duties. Angelo Reyes, also a host.
Yay!
John Orlando, also a host. They both host shows, and your guys' show matters, too. That's why Goes is laughing.
To his credit, he says that every day.
I do, and this show matters a lot to me.
Hey, I get it.
Yeah.
That's what we say on our show. The only show that matters is MMA Junkie, people. I don't even know why you're watching ours.
Other shows matter.
Yeah. Well, we have Action Junkies and Cage Siders in the house. Guys, I wanted to – actually, Goes. I give him credit. He wanted to bring a collective group so we could chat about the big news yesterday. Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather will box on August 27th here in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. 154 pounds, no titles at stake, 10-ounce gloves, yada, yada, yada.
There's no
initial
yada,
thoughts.
yada, yada.
Now, you were there at headquarters. So
No.
can I ask you first, when you saw Leonard Ellerby with Dana White, what was the overall feeling you were getting?
I just saw dollar signs in there.
Okay.
I mean, this is a fucking circus,
Mhm.
all right, for one. It's a fight that 2-3 months ago I said I wouldn't watch, and I won't pay for it, but I will watch it now. I think they've reeled me in that regard. I think a lot of it's going to have to do with the pressers leading up to. If they're Conor-esque, I'm probably for sure all the way in. If those are duds and maybe there's too much respect and there's just not a reason for me to go in there and want to see one of the two get their asses kicked, then I honestly probably will just say, tell me the result. Because I've fallen for this many times with Floyd Mayweather, and the last one was with Manny Pacquiao. So why am I going to fall for it again? You're not going to get my dollar. I'll tell you that right now.
Let me ask you this.
Now, if one of you guys invites me to your crib, John's moving to Vegas soon. Angelo, you live here. All right, I'll throw my 20 into the pot. I'll buy a square for a round. I'll show up with chips or a 6-pack or whatever, or 12-pack, 18-pack. Fuck.
I was gonna say a 6-pack.
Yeah, 6-pack. Oh, I meant
you
these.
cheap
These are, well, I meant the belly. But you're not gonna get 100 out of me. The most you're gonna get is 20 and some goodies.
And
Okay, now did they even mention at all how much the
It's gonna be 100. It was asked.
Did they say?
Somebody
Okay.
said it's gonna be more towards what the UFC usually charges, which is $59.99 for
Okay.
HD, or along the lines of Pacquiao and Mayweather. And even though they didn't commit to it, they both kind of looked at each other like, we know the answer. But more than likely 100. Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this: did you pay for Canelo Chavez?
Yes.
Yes, we paid for that
Okay,
one.
you paid $80 for that. Just so that you know, that was $80.
Yeah, my dad paid for that, actually.
Oh, okay.
But
so
we
for
did,
$20 more, you don't want to see Mayweather McGregor? Because you want to talk about a dud. That was a dud. And that's supposed to be two people.
So that
were
should be
supposed to get-
teaching us a lesson.
No, it should actually. So,
And so
like,
should Pacquiao and Mayweather. That was a dud, too.
An
and
injured Pacquiao, you mean,
in
with,
fact-
with a bad shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
bad shoulder package.
Look at BoxRec, and his last 20 fights have all been the same script, man.
Okay, go
now
this
that
way.
said, I do think he's gonna win, and I think he's gonna finish him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't think
of
it's gonna be a
course.
decision, but I think they'll just be lulls where they're like, "Come on, man, you're superior. Finish this guy already."
Have you seen a boring Conor McGregor fight ever? Take your time. Take your time.
Never.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna shock the world.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to KO Floyd Mayweather inside of 3 rounds.
Oh,
you
my
will play
God.
this clip all week long that week.
Hey, you know what's cool?
John,
no,
honestly,
no.
if I had an ejection seat right here,
Yeah.
like one of those fighter jets, I would have hit it right now.
Hey,
Okay.
Joe.
Now,
so
granted, I would have made sure that Goes had packed your chute so that when you went through the roof and you
Right.
landed somewhere in the desert,
Okay.
the chute would open up and we'd remain friends. But I just far enough. It has to shoot them far enough.
Okay.
So that it takes them an hour to get there and an hour back, so that he can't come back and go, "Fuck you, George! You shouldn't have done that, McGregor, all the way." There's got to be enough time that I'm just cleared of him for 24 hours.
And you want him to reflect that whole time on what he just did.
Okay, well, reflect on this. Let me ask you this: do you remember when Conor couldn't beat a wrestler? When everyone said, not you, just you, all Conor haters collectively, said, oh, he'll never beat Chad Mendez because he's going to end up on the
There's a difference
ground.
between a full camp and 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
So
do
you
you
saw
remember
what Chad did
do you
in
remem-
those 2 weeks.
Okay, great. So did he win the fight?
He did.
No, I mean
Conor
Conor
McGregor won the fight,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Remember when everyone said Conor's never going to be able to beat Aldo? Remember that?
Yeah.
He's never going to be able to beat him. Remember that?
Yeah.
Who won the fight?
Conor.
Okay. Do you remember when they said he wasn't going to beat Nate Diaz? Which he did round 1. Annihilated Nate Diaz, and then pilot error.
That's a bad argument.
No,
Get
it's
out
not.
while
No, it's
you're
not. 'Cause
ahead.
remember, he went up. He
Chad
went up
Mendes
2 weight.
won round 1.
He went up 2 weight
Yeah,
classes.
yeah. Like, don't go down
Okay,
that
that's
road.
fine.
'Cause Chad
But-
Mendes
but-
won the first 2, actually.
Yeah.
Did he win the fight? I mean, I can ask you now. Did he win the fight?
Okay, he may not have won that fight, but he went up 2 weight classes is what it took to put Conor in the L category. Okay? And then he came right back like a champion and did a 5-round war and beat Nate.
But that's MMA.
And, okay, fine. And then remember when he wasn't going to be able to beat – no way will he beat Eddie Alvarez. No way, right? A true wrestler. Like, no way. World beater Eddie Alvarez. How
John,
many rounds was
Chris
that fight?
Rock's in town this weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Could I headline for him and him open for me? Would people pay for that?
No.
Would I outperform him that night?
No.
But George has told a funny joke before.
Yeah. I'm sure I make
Yeah,
you
you're
crack up
actually
from time
pretty
to
funny.
time.
Okay.
That's about the comparison.
To say that Conor's not going to be able to hit Floyd is crazy. Sure.
Did Canelo hit Floyd much?
Styles make fights.
There
Okay,
isn't
let's
a
go down the
stance or
lefties. Who are
style
the
that
lefties?
he has never seen in
Zab
his
Judah.
life.
Zab Judah arguably had the first couple, 3-4 rounds that were decent. Guerrero was a lefty. Victor Ortiz was a lefty. Victor Ortiz roughed him up a little bit. This, I'm reaching here.
Victor
but
Ortiz
the
was
lefties
beating
that
him.
fought Mayweather, is that what you're talking about? The lefties?
Yeah.
They weren't that successful. Collectively, I mean, they must have won maybe 10% of the rounds, 5% of the rounds, and most of that's attributed to Zab Judah.
And those are lefties that have been doing that all their lives.
Okay. We're going to see. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
There's no way you could possibly believe this.
I 100% believe this.
Are you gonna
You
watch
wouldn't
the
risk
fight
your
with
life
us?
over it. I know that.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the fight with
Okay,
you.
can we get one of those dunk tanks and have him sit in it? And the second that fight's over, can we just slam on it and have him go
As
down?
long as I can save that for January. I want him to freeze and pay for this. I want him to land in the water and come up an ice cube inside.
Just
begging
floating.
me. He's like a ventriloquist, like, I warm me up, thaw me out or whatever.
Like Jack from
It wouldn't be
Titanic.
enough because actually it would be a relief for him in 100-degree weather. We're pushing 115, 116 these next few days. That's crazy.
So
But-
can I say
but
that
let's
this
go
is
back
the
to this.
reason why?
Yeah.
And there's going to be a ton of people buying this fight.
Yeah.
He is the exact reason why.
4
This-
million John
ladies and
Orlandos.
gentlemen, welcome to the common fan who does not know the sport at all.
Okay.
Which is okay. Because I'll counter it, and you can have this on record. Mayweather will knock him out in 3 or less.
Oh, my God.
3?
3 or less. Because everybody thinks, oh, well, Floyd's just going to dance around. Not on this fight. Not on this fight. He is, and he doesn't dance around. I don't think he dances around anyways. You have to truly understand the craft of boxing to really understand what he does to people.
I'll tell you what he does to people. He fights people when they're 3 years out of their prime, and then he runs from them.
is
That's
true.
what he does to people.
Okay, so Connor fights people who were smoking marijuana and drinking a margarita the week before for a 170 fight that no one asked him to do except he asked for it. Nate said, I'll fight you at 160. And then he said, screw that. Tell him I'll fight him at 170. Well, of course Nate said, I'm going to fight you at 160 because, bro, I was in a yacht drinking margaritas and smoking a joint. I'm not in shape. And I still kicked your ass, Connor, and I wasn't in shape. So,
I don't know if I call it an ass kicking, but okay.
I would call it an ass kicking.
Okay.
I think anytime you give up, you got your ass whooped.
Yeah,
So-
anytime it takes the ref to stop another
Yes.
guy from killing another guy.
Yeah, and
you
can I
gotta-
also say this to our man when he talks about that?
Just
that-
make sure you speak up, though, because we can't hear you, Angelo.
Oh, okay. When he says, "Oh, well, he beat Nate Diaz," arguable.
No,
I could
No,
argue.
no. But the result's the result.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
but I could
arguable,
argue it. He didn't dominate.
Well,
Nate
because then
Diaz.
we'd say, well, is Floyd Mayweather undefeated? It went to a split. Did Oscar get
Yeah,
him?
exactly.
We'll see, and then we'll just
yeah,
we'll never
because
end.
remember Canelo was Canelo. We were here. Canelo Mayweather was, if you look at it on our record, is a majority decision because somebody had it as a draw. But you and I saw it easy, like 10-2, easy. So I'm just saying that he didn't beat the heck out of Nate Diaz.
He knocked Nate down 3 times in 1 round.
What I will say is this. In that fight, it took 3 people to tell Connor he won the fight. In the other fight, Nate Diaz told everyone he won the fight. So there is a difference.
Okay, I'll give you that. Okay.
What's your reaction to it? Like, are
I
you
thought it was
excited?
great. I was excited.
Okay.
Hey, remember
Will
when
you
you guys
pay for the fight, or
I
you're hoping
will.
to get
No,
an
no,
invite
no.
somewhere?
I know. I'm getting invited somewhere to watch it.
So it's
but
not worth it. But
I
the only way you
would.
could watch it was to pay $100. Would you do it?
I'd pay it. I'd pay it.
Wow.
100%.
How could you not?
Yeah, I would pay it. I would
Nah.
pay it because it's the same reason why like the whole
You know
evil,
what? Honestly,
Knievel-
dude, I would if they told me you got to pay for $20 for the press conference, like to get in and watch it in person, decent seat, I'd probably pay that. That's
Oh, okay.
entertainment.
That's
to me.
it. That is
That
entertaining.
honestly is entertainment.
That
to
would
me.
be entertaining.
But the fight, I've fallen for it too many times.
And then what if he wins? What will you say?
McGregor?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not much to say.
What do we do at that
Just
point?
got to suck it up.
I may actually call in sick for a month. I don't think I
Really?
can deal with like.
Wait,
I-
are you a Floyd
There's
fan?
going to be a lot of I told you so's out
you a
there from
Floyd
people that
fan?
really didn't tell me so, but they may have thrown some miracle tweet at the last minute in case they're right.
I've told you so.
You did. No, not really.
So you're just it's just from a purist mentality. You're thinking this is a circus.
Yeah.
Really?
Come on, George. We got 10 weeks.
Well, no,
to
I think it's a
slay.
mismatch. I think even Dana and everyone will
So-
agree this is going to be a circus. I think Mayweather and Pacquiao was a circus. I think
Wasn't
Fights could be a
Mayweather De La
circus and
Hoya
still
a
be good.
mismatch? De La Hoya came in a walker, didn't he? I mean, what was he? 80
no,
when he fought?
no, that's when he fought Pacquiao.
Can I ask you this question? Do you think
oh,
it's
that's
more
true.
of a circus than when we saw Shaquille O'Neal box Oscar De La Hoya on free
celebrity?
TV?
Well,
Do you
that's-
remember that?
No, I
Remember the
mean,
new bowl in the fridge? That one was terrible. Then Screech beat up some dork.
But most people didn't give Holly Holm a chance to beat Ronda, right?
Yeah, you know these odds are greater. You know, Floyd's only minus 1,000.
Yeah, it's minus 11.
Some
I
places
think it should be higher than
800.
that.
I know. And Connor's plus 650, plus 525, somewhere in that range, depending on what house you look at. Sportsbook here in Vegas or overseas. And you are right on that. That's a good point. Holly Holm was a bigger underdog to Ronda Rousey than Connor is to Floyd. But remember, John, that's just not skill set. It's the popularity of the athletes involved. There's a lot of people that are just going to go, give me Connor, all the way. They're going to throw the money down. He's bigger. They believe what Dana White is throwing out. They believe what.
Because he's right. That's why they believe it, because he's right. There's
Wait,
always a
he
puncher's
is bigger.
chance. Yes, Floyd can run. Floyd's faster. He doesn't need to run. He's a better boxer. Okay, but what if Connor lands that left? He has to land that left one time in 12 rounds? This guy's on crack if he thinks Mayweather's going to knock out.
No, wait, hey, I want you to play that too when it actually happens.
There's a difference.
I want you to play it.
There's a difference between landing a big left hand with MMA gloves and boxing gloves.
Yeah, 10-ounce gloves, 6 ounces more. And
Hey, can we dive into that? They are going with 10 ounce,
Mm-hmm.
which means they're going 54 and up
Yep.
in boxing. And they said Mayweather didn't argue it. It
Not
would
at all.
benefit him for the bigger gloves to be used,
No,
if anything. Because
Didn't he fight that with Canelo?
Yes, he fought
no,
10s.
they agreed at
But
51.
he wanted the bigger
no,
gloves.
52. They agreed at 52.
52?
And then it was
They
10
used-
ounces.
okay.
Yeah, but
I
here,
would think that the times, even LRB said, and we can all admit, it's not like he hasn't had his bell rung. He has had it. Maidana got a piece of him.
Mosley got him good.
Right, exactly. So it's not like he hasn't. And a smaller glove to graze you. I mean, we have to respect Connor's power, so maybe he might miss and something can graze. But I would say that the closer you are to a 4-ounce glove, the more that can hurt.
Yeah, no,
Mayweather.
it's just
so
different.
I was
mean,
like, oh, he was so easy on that one. Like that ain't no kind of shocker. You know what I mean? I would want bigger gloves as I was facing Conor McGregor too.
yeah, I don't think it's so much that. I think it's just the rules in boxing is if you're fighting 147 and below, it's 8. If you're fighting 154 and above, it's 10. I don't think
But
I think
he
if they fought at
negotiates
47,
so many things where they say like, hey, you can't weigh in more
Yeah,
than
but I don't-
158 and
yeah.
a half.
No,
okay.
but I don't
well,
think
what's the
that's what
difference between
happened.
that and 59 and a half?
I don't think that's what happened on this one. I think they were just following the
Well, yeah.
regular
Well,
rules.
the other side of it is he is honestly looking at this as the easiest sparring match of all time.
And that's a factor you got to remember, too.
No, I
'cause
see.
that could be a problem.
So that's where I disagree because I was at Mayweather Gym on Wednesday. I was telling Goes earlier, I was there because Anna Hulton was helping with sparring for Floyd's female fighter that he promotes, Latondria Jones, and Floyd was right there working out. And we know for a fact that
Well, that's what he does though.
throughout this year, he's been training, and again, you have to be a boxing person. Like, do you know who Gervonta Davis is?
No.
Oh, see, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't
Doesn't
really
even know who
acknowledge
Gervonta
boxing as a
Davis is.
sport anymore. It's
Gervonta Davis is
me
one
to
of the
sleep.
top southpaw world champions, undefeated right now. Just came back from the UK, knocked somebody out. Now here's my point: the guy's like 19, I think, or 20, and Floyd's sparring him, and that kid is sitting there going, "Oh, you look pretty sharp the other day, champ." And Floyd's going, "Nah, I'm gonna get there though." I'm telling you guys, Floyd is about to put the ass whooping that you guys have. You think Gotti got it bad? You're about to see Conor really get whooped.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I you could have come to him with almost any kind of terms. He would have agreed to it because this is going to be like a sparring match.
Yeah, I don't think he's treating it like that though. I really think
because
that,
he doesn't. Because he trains hard for anyone.
Yes, that's my point.
I agree on that.
That's my
But I
point.
know I don't think he's going to lose any type of sleep leading into this fight.
No,
I
not
think
at
there's
all.
a difference between maybe what he put in against Canelo versus what he'll put in against Conor. I think he trains hard, but I think he'll maybe
definitely gonna take this
it
lightly.
down a notch.
I don't know, man.
You think
because
he'll train just as hard as
I
he did
think
for,
he
like-
will. I think that
Really?
that's one of the greatest that's one of the coolest things about actually getting a chance to see Floyd train and getting a chance to have been around him when he's in this mode. It like that story. I think I shared it with you guys off air before, where when he first fought Robert
What
Guerrero,
about the male strippers?
you know, when he first fought Robert Guerrero, there was all this hype about it, and then Guerrero's people and publicists were talking this, talking that, and Floyd was just kind of like, okay, let's get to the signing, let's get to the signing, let's get to the signing. When the signing happened and the first time they met each other, which I don't know if any promotions like that will happen. I think that would be cool though if Conor and Floyd can meet each other for, same studio, kind of like remember when Mayorga and De La Hoya did it and like a little fight broke out. But the first time Floyd Mayweather met with Robert Guerrero and they were promoting the fight, Floyd walked right up to Robert Guerrero and said, "Hey, by the way, this is the raw dog now. This is the real deal now. This is not fake anymore. You already signed it. So you're about to see what it's like to get your ass whooped in front." And I think that's the same venom that Floyd's going to give Conor. He's going to be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, all that time that I was saying, oh, I'm 40 and there's always a chance. Yeah, that's all over."
Okay, so the effort will be there, but what about the body? Can the body give him?
I think his body will be fine because he rested the last 2 years. His last fight was Andre Berto.
But he's still older.
He's 40, yeah. But,
But I still don't think it'll be. I still don't think it closes the gap. The gap is so huge.
What
It'll
do
be
you
a
think,
boxing clinic, in my opinion.
You talked about how interesting the trash talk is going to be. And
Yeah,
I'm
that'll
finding
be
this
fun.
very interesting because I don't think Floyd is a good trash talker. I don't think he's that good.
Well, it depends. If he goes,
He has a lot of credentials that he lists that kind of seems like trash talk.
have you ever heard?
But-
Have you ever heard him? I've heard him call into radio shows
Mhm.
where he really got into it with the host that was disparaging to him or whatever. And of course, he had to turn into a G, and N-bombs were flying or whatever. So if it turns into that, he can bring it. If he just decides to just lay back, hey, I'm Floyd, I'm 49, no, I'm one of the greatest ever. I've won 8 titles in multiple divisions. Because Conor can't say I'm a 2-time champion. He can list all the weight classes. 8 titles, right?
Floyd.
8 titles,
Yeah,
6 weight
it-
classes?
yeah,
I think
yes,
is what he
yeah,
has.
yeah.
So, I mean, his accolades. Hasn't lost in 20 years. Conor hasn't lost in, 18 months? So you see what I'm saying? He'll sit him down a lot with the facts. So he may just be old school G just chilling
But
there.
if he does that, that doesn't sell tickets. And he knows that.
It does, because then people want him to get his ass kicked. Remember, there's
Yes.
still a lot of people
Yes. I
that
think he's
hate
gotta
him
fire back.
just because of the color of his skin. Let's just start with that,
All right.
much less with the stuff that comes out of his mouth. Let's move on to this. Do you think it'll break 4.6 million
I think it has the
pay-per-views?
possibility of doing it. I really do. And
100%.
here's the thing is that I remember being in Canada 2010 with Freddie Roach, and when we were in Toronto, they were talking about Mayweather Pacquiao at that point, and it didn't happen until 2015, and people still got to 4.6?
4.6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, dude, they made this happen right away. They
Yeah.
started talking, and then they're like, August 26th.
Right, but
so-
in that fight, the other guy had a chance. You see, we can all talk about it and all that, but when
Okay,
push
you know
comes to
what?
shove, we're all going to go, he's going to get his ass kicked. We really want to buy this? Do I want to hit enter or buy or whatever it is in the
Okay.
remote? I mean, I think at some point, a lot of realization will
So here's my whole thing with that. And again, everybody already knows on record that I'm saying Floyd Mayweather's going to whoop him pretty bad and knock him out, right?
So crazy.
But I'll argue it the other way. Why do you want to buy this fight? Because you've never seen anything like this before. You've never seen
I saw Thunder
the
Lips
best-
throw Rocky Balboa out of a ring. I've seen Muhammad Ali and Antonio Inoki.
Okay.
Gorilla
okay.
Monsoon and Muhammad Ali, I think, also had.
Roddy Piper and Mr. T.
Yeah, there's been versions of what one style can do to another.
We live in an era now where in combat sports we could agree that UFC's on the top when it comes to MMA,
Yeah.
right? And then in boxing, man, Mayweather Promotions and Floyd Mayweather. Even though, what does it tell you?
But
that,
what is it you're tuning in for, though? If you think it's going to end in 3 and it's going to be an
No,
absolute
I think I'm tuning
clinic,
in. I think I'm tuning in for the guy who's walking the wire between two of the tallest buildings in the world. Like I'm tuning in to see, is it actually possible? Can this guy climb
it's possible.
Everest?
Ha-
Is it, and I know, and
Okay,
that's,
I
you know what I
have
mean?
said that before, that
Yeah.
sometimes you tune in just because you don't want to be the guy that didn't when someone lost, like Buster
Because you
and
never
Tyson.
know. Now,
Right.
again, having said that, I want to make it clear, Floyd Mayweather's going to knock him out. But I just, I'm arguing why you would want
All
to
right, tell
watch
me,
it.
is it going to go over 4.6 or not? You said possible. I need answers.
Yeah, I'll say yes. I'll say it'll go to 4.7 million.
John
6
Orlando?
million. It does
6 million.
Yeah.
What? Did Jake pay you money to come in here and say ridiculous things or what?
No, that was a good idea. Let me text him.
Yeah.
We have a long show.
Like, hey, man,
come on,
fuck,
this is
fuck
gonna
their
this
show
is
up
gonna
and say
shatter.
ridiculous stuff.
It's gonna shatter all the records. How is it not? It's gonna
You're
get all
saying
of the
stuff
UFC
along
fans.
the lines of Goes could outplay Shaq one-on-one right now in
No,
basketball.
come on. How can you?
6 million?
Sure, why not? What's the highest UFC?
Actually, that's more believable than Conor winning. I'll give you that. All right. I think it doesn't. I think it'll settle in at between 2 and 3.
2?
Yeah, I think realization will set in.
I think it'll fit right below it.
No way.
And only because people have that sour taste in
Wait,
their
right
mouth
below
from
4?
last one.
Exactly. That's a lot of them.
And I think more people, I don't think less people will watch, but I think more people will say, let's all get
And
together
goes,
and
this
watch
was
it.
a sour taste left by a guy who's probably going to be, who will be in the Boxing Hall of Fame, Manny Pacquiao, who is one of the great fighters of our generation, and yet he came up very short against Floyd Mayweather.
An injured Manny
What
Pacquiao,
can
you mean?
Conor
Come on, an injured
McGregor
man
do
with a broken
that
wing.
even duplicates what Manny Pacquiao's
Come on,
done to other
this
fighters?
this fight's going to get.
Conor McGregor couldn't beat anybody that Floyd's ever beaten.
Stop. This
He
fight.
couldn't.
Stop. This fight is going to get.
Look at his box record. Whoever he's
Yeah, it's
beaten,
true.
even on fight number 1, Conor McGregor could beat that guy.
And that's what you would have said. Buster Douglas isn't going to beat Mike Tyson, like you just brought up. And you would
I
have
actually
said.
predicted that one.
Stop.
I know.
Did you?
I know. I did.
I
just
this
felt
gets
like
all the
joining in
boxing
with the
fans.
ridiculous stuff.
This gets the boxing fans. This gets the UFC fans. This gets Ireland. This
It'll
gets
be
the
big.
UK, and it gets the non-fan of boxing and UFC just as a spectacle. This crushes it. 6 million might be low. Remember this. Well,
I'll agree with him on that close.
This
there.
gets the casual
I'll still
people
say
that don't even give a
4.7 million,
shit about
but it'll be
fighting.
a lot.
This gets people that watch Desperate Housewives. This gets people that are like, oh, yeah, this is something to do. This is like a party that people will end up having where they don't even necessarily care
I
about.
could buy into that.
Yeah.
See?
I could buy
See,
into
we're
that.
already swinging you. So you're going to buy the fight, aren't you?
Huh? Well, I mean, how many million voted in the buffoon that sits at the White House? So there's stupid people out there. That's for sure.
You know what I find interesting
Yeah.
is the timing of all this, because you got a Bellator card coming up. Nobody's really mentioned that, because now we're all focused
Triple
on
G
this.
Canelo.
Triple G Canelo.
Dude,
And-
Andre Ward Kovalev is happening in 2 days.
That's hurting. And you know what's hurting it? People don't have anywhere to stay. The Electric Daisy Carnival's in town, and all the hotel rooms are bought.
EDC.
I'm hearing that people are struggling with the old, well, where do we stay? You know, like.
But check this out.
Yeah.
Who's going to win in the basketball game tonight?
There isn't one.
Who's going to win in the hockey game?
There isn't one.
There ain't shit to talk about.
How about
There ain't
no
nothing to
football,
do.
right?
There's no football.
football?
This was the perfect time to release this news.
Yeah, you're not kidding. That's a good point.
And it's everywhere, too. Like, you turn on every channel. Mayweather McGregor. Mayweather McGregor.
You know who's loving this?
Who?
LeBron James. He's going, X.
Oh, yeah.
Talk
that's
about
true.
that. Let's talk about this.
That's
He's
true.
loving it right now.
Congrats to your Warriors.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, people. I thought they'd do it in 4, but whatever. Better to do it at home. I wish I was at the parade right now.
Is it today?
Yeah, it's today. It'll-
You know what? Speaking of San Francisco, thoughts and prayers to the UPS family.
Yeah.
A gunman went in there, took a few lives, right?
I'm getting
Wow, I didn't hear
in,
about
in,
this.
in San Francisco.
What?
And the reason, I mean, not to sound cold or anything, but there's tragedies everywhere, and we're not going to do this every day. But a good friend of our show works for San Francisco UPS, so this was an alert for us. Is he okay? Jason Lackey.
Was this today? I don't even.
It was yesterday.
Oh.
What?
Gunman went into a UPS, like one of the more regional hubs, I guess, and started shooting. Yeah.
Somebody
And our
else did
buddy
something,
works
too.
there. Not at that one, though. It turns out he worked at another one, but I think there's some familiarity from,
Wow.
people that work in
crazy.
different spots. Excuse me?
There was another one, too, yesterday. I can't remember where that one was.
At a
but,
baseball field or something.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
It was
Tell
like
me
a
about that
senator-
one.
a
What do you know?
senator or something.
He
right?
didn't. I don't think he died, the gunman, right?
The
But he
gunman
didn't kill
died.
anyone or something like
No,
that.
the other guy's in the hospital with. Certain
I heard there's
surgery or
been
something.
a mass shooting every month this year.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I don't know if that's worldwide or stateside or, because stuff's been happening in the UK as
Right.
well. Very crazy.
Yeah.
So, thoughts and prayers definitely with those families and families and friends of those people. All right, we're going to take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Whole first hour and 15 minutes is wide open to talk about this mega fight between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. Again, August 26th at the T-Mobile Arena, not the Grand Garden Arena. It's at 154 pounds. That's super welterweight or junior middleweight. The sanctioning bodies are, they have different names for the same weight class. 10-ounce gloves, 12 rounds, no titles will be at stake. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Angelo Reyes, John Orlando in the house.
Connor by KO.
Let's see. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. You told me that code would get rid of them. Yeah, well, they're still here. Okay, but now they know I tried to kill them. Hold on, Mom. Here George and goes.
All right. Call in. Tell us what you think's going to happen with McGregor and Mayweather. It can't get any worse than what I've been hearing here to my right. 6 million buys. Conor knocks him out in what round?
Inside of 3.
Inside of 3. And then on the flip side, we have Floyd wins by knockout in 3, which I think I can kind of co-sign on that. I think he'll knock him out. I just don't know if it'll be that early. What the scary thing, though, is that it could be 12 rounds. Just what's the score? 120, 108 across the board?
I hope not.
Yeah.
I think it'll be within 6 to 8. I think it'll.
You think he'll let Conor win a round or two?
No. I just think he'll kind of play with him, but I think the accumulation of shots will eventually get to Conor.
Yeah.
You got to be in a special shape.
Plus, you got to have those. You got to have those calves, man. You got to have those leg muscles to just box too. I mean, that's a whole other different animal than in MMA as well.
Have you ever taken like an athlete from another sport and just told them to shadow box? Just shadow box. They get tired sometimes. They're not used to those movements.
Just skip rope. Yeah, a lot of the fighters that are exceptional at just being great at MMA fighters. I mean, they won't even be able to skip rope. You have to have certain muscles for boxing as well. I don't know that Conor can close that gap. Yeah, of course he's an outstanding athlete. Of course he's a great MMA fighter. Nobody's saying any of that. But he's not a great boxer. And a great boxer is going to stand in front of him in less than 2 months. It's just
the answer to that question is yes, and you are absolutely correct in terms of different athletics will require different muscles. It's not that any of us believe that Conor couldn't box. You're just trying to – the greatest fight arguably the greatest fighter of this era, and that's the guy you're fighting. You're giving, if like I said, if Conor wanted to do it right and he really wanted to get into boxing, then we probably would have.
We'd have to rewind. What is he, 28? Rewind to about the age of, I'll give him at least the age of 13, 15 years. Rewind and start to just box, and I bet you he'd be an exceptional boxer. World champion, I don't know all that, but I can tell he picks up a lot of the craft of MMA.
Yeah.
Take down the fan. He's getting a lot better at different things, but he's got power. He's got confidence, so he has a lot of intangibles. So rewind 15 years, start teaching him boxing. We might have something here. Not enough to beat Floyd still, but still we may have like a decent boxer out of Ireland.
And I'll take that further. I'll say, like, if Conor, let's say, just started boxing right now, Bernard Hopkins got out of jail 28 and became one of the very best boxers we've ever had. So Conor's very talented. And he's a great athlete. And I'm a Conor fan. I'm not even a Conor hater. I like his style. It works for my style, the style I train people with. So I understand. So I know he has the muscles to be able to convert and do the boxing. But when you're trying to you're trying to slay the dragon, man. And but 49 have tried. 49 have failed.
Great boxers have failed.
And I'll tell you this, there's not going to be anybody that's a boxing person that's going to be behind Conor McGregor. And any boxing person that goes on record and goes, oh, I'm behind Conor McGregor 100%. It's either because you're from the UK and you're a fan of Conor's, because if you're in boxing, you already know. Like, no, man, that's not going to happen. But we'll clap for the effort, though. We'll be like, good for you, dude.
I know what I was going to ask you was, of course it's not going to be a loss for Floyd if he goes 12 rounds and doesn't knock him out.
No,
he's going to get paid.
Yes.
He's going to break the record.
Yes.
But how much flack will he take for not finishing him?
Not any more than the flack that he took when he beat up Gotti and everybody.
According to you, Conor has no chance. According to you, there's
gotta
no
be
way in the world
yeah,
Conor's so you can't have both.
Okay.
I think in MMA guys would say, "What? You took him down, but you couldn't finish him."
You know what it
Imagine
is?
Conor not finishing Floyd.
Okay, I'll say this. I think that it depends on. Let's say Floyd gives him a boxing lesson like the Canelo fight, right? Just totally beats him up, but moves around. He doesn't get touched. He makes it to the end. I think it'll depend on what Floyd says at that post-fight conference. I think if he says, I don't know. If he says, I think the right things, I think a lot of boxing people won't be as upset. Like, they might be upset at the fact that he just got 50 wins, but it wasn't against anybody that was legitimate. So it'll be an asterisk. Like, dude, you're still 49-0. But good job
That's
for
how I'm
bringing,
gonna keep-
you
that's how
know,
I'm
like
gonna have it.
it'll be an asterisk. And again, here's what we don't know either. How do you guys? How do we not know that this McGregor Mayweather fight might even be a bigger picture for Floyd? Maybe Floyd. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Maybe Floyd's using this as his sort of tune-up to see where am I at myself right now, and let me take a safer tune-up
For
in
a
a Conor,
51st fight.
right? And then Pacquiao, who's fighting on July 5th, let's say he knocks out Jeff Horn in front of 50,000 people. And then Pacquiao goes, see what happens when my shoulder's healed? I knock fools out.
That's not
I knock
crazy.
younger people out.
That's not
And
crazy.
Floyd,
Don't
you
say
just
that.
fought August 26th.
Come on.
Well, you're ready. I'm ready. Let's do you and me December. And how do we know Floyd wouldn't sit there and go, F it. I just broke the record.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Floyd's been taking safe fights his whole career.
Okay.
What's
Yeah.
his thing?
Clearly
Name
the
a-
guy
name
that
a-
doesn't
name a-
understand.
name
No
a
such thing as
murderer.
a safe fight. No such thing as a safe fight.
Name a murderer that Floyd has fought.
I'll
in
name
his-
you 49
in
of
his-
them.
No,
in
because
his
Andre
prime.
Berto
Come
in your last fight is
stop.
Dude,
that
that's
was a
the,
safe
okay.
fight.
See, this is where you guys are gonna. If we were in a barber shop and we were talking straight boxing, so many boxing people will tell you that Andre Berto that Floyd Mayweather beat is the best version of Andre Berto you would have seen. In fact, the Andre Berto you just saw lose
Okay, so
to
you
Sean
named
Porter
I don't
is
think
no.
so. I
no
didn't think he looked that great.
I know against Floyd. Who looks great against Floyd?
You know why he took the
Who
Canelo
looks great
fight?
against Floyd?
He took the Canelo fight. because he
Ortiz
saw
looked
what
pretty good
Austin
against
Trout
Floyd
did.
until
He got knocked out.
Well, no, but you saw how that
On a
knockout
cheap
was
shot.
a
What do you
conventional.
mean? On a
Hey
cheap
man,
shot.
yeah, protect yourself at all times.
Yeah, okay, but prior to that, he looked good.
He didn't
Maidana
look
looked pretty
He
good
looked
too.
great. Ortiz looked great that fight.
I think I mean like look okay let's go to the
Angelo,
Zap
you
Jr.
were on the edge of your seat in the Berto fight.
No, I like boxing.
You were turning
man.
around and going to people
No,
like,
like
who do you have?
like
How
again
many
my
do you
eye,
have?
my yeah my.
I was
I
on
was
the
on
edge
it.
of my
I was
seat,
getting
but I was
ready to
getting up
leave.
to pee.
No, I mean again it's like it's hard to not give Floyd so much credit at the craft that he does. It's like watching Floyd do his boxing is like watching Maya do his
Good
his
for him,
jiu-jitsu.
but
Like,
he still
it's
didn't fight a lot of the upper echelon fighters
Yeah.
when he needed to.
Come on, Angelo.
Come on.
Yeah, I wouldn't go. I mean, again, I think that every single fight that he had, he strategically did it at the time that he was supposed to. And
Right,
I don't hate him.
strategically.
I don't hate him for it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
It's a fact. He
Connor,
did it.
Connor's done a little bit of that too
exactly.
in MMA.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, to
These guys are
the
ready.
call.
Sorry.
Orlando in Connecticut. What's up? How you doing, Orlando?
Yo, what's up? You there?
Yep.
All right, so I'm your average UFC fan that buys every pay-per-view because I feel bad stealing them offline. So I'm going to give you my reasons on why I'm buying this fight as your average. Conor McGregor is your average American. This guy used to collect a welfare check, came from nothing, built himself up, always humble after every fight, regardless of who he fights. And by the way, I know you said Nate Diaz was out of shape, saying he was smoking weed, drinking. My man runs marathons all year long, and he's a vegan. So don't cut him short on that, too.
I'm a huge Nate guy.
Do I think Mayweather is going to knock him out? Absolutely not. He couldn't knock on a door. He hasn't since 99, to believe, right? And then on top of that, Conor he's been training for this for like the last year, and he goes, oh, nobody gives him a shot. I don't know about you guys sitting there at the table, but I know I've heard it once in my life. Somebody tells me I can't do it, and prove people wrong. People have been saying that about Conor since day one, and he constantly proves people wrong. Mayweather's 40 years old, supposedly broke his hand 5 times. This is going to be the time. I think Conor wins by decision in the 12th, and he's going to shock the world, and then Mayweather's going to go chasing Conor for a rematch. You watch.
All right, Orlando. Thanks for the call.
See, that's awesome. And, this is what I love.
The first 90% of the call was awesome. The prediction was horrific.
Yeah, no. But that's what I'm
Prediction's
saying
insane.
is you see how, like, they make the announcement, the thing gets signed, and then Orlando's all fired up. I love it.
But
I love
is that
it.
Orlando from Connecticut, or is he related to John Orlando?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he was texting in Orlando, like, hey, dude, do this call.
All right, hey, listen, you got to turn Angelo down a little. He thinks he's in a helicopter delivering the
Actually,
traffic.
it's your headset. 'cause
Is it me?
He's on par with
Oh,
us
okay.
here. It's
All right.
just,
All right. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go to Marco in Waco. What's up, Marco?
Marco from Waco, ¿qué pasa, vatos? DEFCON 5 is on. Everybody to the shelters and bunkers. Mayweather McGregor is happening.
Yeah.
Now, dudes, I'm going to freaking lose my chill because this is an MMA show, and I'm going to defend my land, my ground. Okay. Calling Floyd Mayweather the best fighter in the world? No, he's the best boxer. He was the best fighter. He will be in the UFC, and he will use all the weapons of a fight: knees, elbows, grappling, wrestling.
If it was said in the context of boxing, we know he's the best boxer in the world.
He's the best boxer, not the best fighter.
Yeah.
Now, Conor is going into Mayweather's realm, and I grant you that. Probably Mayweather is going to appoint the guy because he cannot freaking box a great. He hasn't knocked out anybody since 2011, and he keeps breaking his hands. I mean, Nate Diaz, that weighs 170 pounds, and walks around 180 or fight time, couldn't knock out Conor McGregor on 25 minutes. Now, we have seen what happened when a boxer getting into the cage. Enter James Toney Randy Couture. He got done in 3.5 minutes. I think Conor is going to last all 12 rounds, going to lose a decision, and he's going to do well for himself. Then I want Conor to call freaking Mayweather out. I came to your world, now come to mine. Let's see what happens. We'll let you guys catch you next time.
Okay, we'll see it.
See?
There's no
He's
way it
fired
goes 12
up.
rounds. It's impossible.
Everyone's
Conor
fired
doesn't
up.
have the cardio for the
Again,
12 rounds.
started off pretty
Can't-
decent
yeah.
call, but then it ain't gonna go 12 rounds. I don't think
No,
it'll go 12
he
rounds.
couldn't go 12.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the cardio for it.
Let's go to Brian from Boston. Maybe you can save the callers today. What's up, Brian?
Hey, boys. This is a good day for Conor McGregor, good day for Mayweather, good day for Showtime pay-per-view, horrible day for MMA. If he's going to make the kind of money that we're talking about, we will never see him back in the octagon again.
I agree. He won't come
You're
back.
not going to make $75 million. Yeah. And secondly, anyone who calls up and says Conor McGregor has a chance is out of their mind. I'm telling you right now, I'm not paying one dime for this bullshit. I have never given Mayweather a penny, and I won't. What I might do is I just might mail $5 to Conor McGregor just because I like him. But I would pay for Conor McGregor versus I'd pay for McGregor versus like Bob Stapp, McGregor versus Jose Canseco. I'm not paying for this shit. You're out of your mind. No, thank you. I feel better now.
All right, Brian. Thanks for the call.
This is cool. I think
Kinda how I
I
feel.
think me and Jeremy Long will do a CageSiders.com hotline for all fans who want to vent out their frustration.
Hey,
over this.
I want to ask Angelo a question about strategy.
Okay.
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 If you're in Conor McGregor's corner, this is what I was thinking about. Do you really give him guys that are going to test him in sparring, that are going to mop the floor with him, or do you let him win these sparring matches and come in with what I think is his best attribute, and that's confidence? Come in and at least let him do what he's going to do, because I kind of look like he's going to get murdered anyway. I don't want him to get beat up in the sparring room and come in and think, man, I'm about to get mopped up.
Well,
I think I would
if-
actually give him scrubs.
If I was in Conor's, if I was one of the coaching staff for Conor, let's say I was even like the specialty boxing guy or whatever, I think Conor's the type of fighter, and I think that's the reason why he's, regarded by Dana White as pound for pound the best MMA fighter we have out there.
Until the DJ fight signed,
right?
Then
Yeah.
he'll
Yeah.
remember that he anointed him the
Right,
best.
right. But I think that what makes Conor so superior is he's so confident that he runs the show. So I would basically base it on how he's feeling and where he's at. Because if Conor says, Angelo, I want you to get me all the best lefties you can get me, I'm like, all right, man. I mean, it's going to cost money, but we can do that. Floyd Mayweather, I believe he hired both Zab Judah and DeMarcus Corley, both former opponents of his.
Chop Chop?
Yeah, Chop Chop, yeah, to be sparring partners for other fights he was getting ready for. So,
Right.
again, this is possible. This was one of the things that I said in another, I think it was Chicago Sportsland Radio. They asked me, and I said, look, if this fight does happen, who is Conor going to pay that's from the boxing world that's going to be willing to help him? Because the minute it'll go public, man. If Zab Judah is the sparring partner for Conor McGregor, it's going to go public. So that
Speaking of
everybody,
sparring partners, you have a connection to Wild Card. Didn't some guy mop up Connor? And actually
yeah,
go
it was
public
one of
with it?
Freddie's guys from like
That guy mopped up Connor.
Okay, but to be fair, and yes, but to be fair, maybe Connor was just trying it out. And sparring isn't fighting. Sparring is you're working on stuff, right? It's not.
But it wasn't
it's not
just
fighting.
the videos. It was what he said. That obviously this is an MMA fighter that could not become a professional boxer.
Well, that guy's an idiot. I mean, I definitely think Connor could be a pro boxer. He's an amazing athlete. I think if you really,
we could be pro boxers. Anybody could be a pro boxer. Can be a good one.
Look, here's my Connor reached a pinnacle in his sport, which is a very difficult sport to reach a pinnacle of. He has all the mental credibility to be able to be a really good boxer. And if he did it the right way, and he wanted it, kind of like what Anna is doing, right? You switch over the right way, you kind of just move yourself up, and you'll get further than most. Like Connor would get to a title fight probably faster than the average bear because he has so much.
If he started,
no. Even if he started it now, but he really committed to it. If he okay, let me flip this one on you guys. What if Connor does this fight, loses it, but then says, "Man, I really like boxing, and I'm gonna stick to it now." And I really want to hone my craft. I want to start from the beginning.
I don't think he makes top 10 in any weight class.
Yeah, I know, but
what's
to stop someone like Eddie Hearn, who's the head promoter over there in the UK, and they're doing bang-out fights with Joshua Klitschko and all the other fights that Matchroom Boxing does over there. Sky Sports owns the UK. Connor's a huge name after he fights Mayweather, and my man, let's say, is correct. It's 6 million pay-per-view buys. Connor will be such a big name. What stops any promoter from saying, shit, I'll promote you, Connor, and we could start from scratch. Here's your first guy, here's your second guy, and then next thing you know, 2 years later, Conor McGregor's 15-0 with 15 knockouts. And he's only 31.
If he beats Floyd, then I guess the world is his.
Yeah.
But come on, these are a lot of big ifs out there.
No, it's not. It's not a big if. He's done everything he said he's going to do in the fight game so far. Why don't you believe him now?
He didn't beat Nate Diaz the first time.
Okay, so he moved up
That
two
was
weight
18
classes.
months ago.
So it took Conor McGregor moving up two weight classes.
Nate moved up too.
Yeah, Nate moved up too.
They're in the same weight class now.
And again, Nate wasn't
If anything,
traded.
you could say Conor was picking on little guys.
He moved up 2 weight classes. He ran out of gas. It's pilot error. Okay, he came right back and fought him again, and he beat him.
Arguable. I still can argue Nate won.
We got John Orlando and Angelo Reyes co-hosting this first hour with us. Join in on the queue at 866-522-2846. Want to get your thoughts on McGregor Mayweather happening on August 26th here in Las Vegas.
Look it up. He was 39 or 40. I think he was 40.
I don't think he's 40 yet, is he?
Mosley is 45 or 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charm, compassion, common sense. These guys have none of that. You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
With about a third of the fantasy baseball season in the books, SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you evaluate your team and make a push for your league title. Our experts can help you make trades and waiver wire signings to improve your roster and climb your league standings. If you play fantasy baseball, you need to listen to SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. We know how to win on Sirius 210, XM 87, and on the SiriusXM app. We have John Orlando from Action Junkies here, Angelo Reyes from the Cage Siders, and we're talking Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, set for August 26th here in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena, is what it's called. Odds that have come out so far are anywhere from -800 to -1,000 to -1,200 for Floyd Mayweather. Conor McGregor's comeback is anywhere from 525 all the way up to 650. I'm sure that'll fluctuate. A lot of people are treating it like, here's my 10 grand, I'm going to pick up an easy grand on Mayweather, and then there's others that are actually putting some money on Conor McGregor. An MMA fighter had a reaction, and he plans on doing. I think Tyron Woodley or one of those said it on UFC
Brendan
Tonight.
Schaub said that he was going to put a lot of money on Conor, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was Brendan
But that-
Schaub. He
You
said
might
he
as
put
well
10
just
grand.
fucking light your money on fire, dude.
What?
Seriously.
Well, I mean, you know, I'll argue it again because I already said that Mayweather's going to beat him. But, you know, odds-wise, if you're better.
Save it. We got to go to break.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll start off with odds.
Okay.
And what the different possibilities are. We'll pull it up. I would only say parlay McGregor to first 3 rounds, something like that. $20. Have some fun. But come on, big money? Can't do it. All right, we'll be right back after this commercial and sports update.
I'll miss the fight.
Here we go.
What's going on the side of the
I
table?
don't know, man. It's madness. I tell you, madness.
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke. Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke. Get down, girl, gon' head, get down. Get down, girl, gon' head, get down. Get down, girl, gon' head, get down. Get down, girl, gon' head. Cutie the bomb, met her at a beauty salon with a baby Louis Vuitton under her underarm. She said, I could tell you rock, I could tell by your charm. Far as girls, you got a flock. I could tell by your charm and your arm, but I'm looking for the one. Have you seen her? My psychic told me she have a like Serena, Trina, Gina for Lopez, 4 kids, and I gotta take all they bad to showbiz. Okay, get your kids, but then they got their friends.
All right, here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. So, I'm not the biggest hip-hop connoisseur as of late. I was more of a West Coast, early 90s guy. But who's this?
Kanye, isn't it?
Good jam.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm not his biggest fan personally, but that's a cool jam.
What is going on here? Come on, you knew that was Kanye.
I really didn't.
Really?
Well, if you would have said guess, he would have probably been one of the first that comes out of my mouth. I would have said Jay-Z, Kanye, I don't know.
Okay.
It's with Jamie Foxx too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx is in this?
Mm-hmm.
You guys like it?
I like it.
Pretty cool. You like it?
I like it, but I'm over hip hop.
Yeah?
I'm straight up EDM.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right. So, I don't know what to say, guys.
That's how I feel.
We're all over the place here. I thought we were all going to be in agreement, just like
You let
fist
me down.
bumping. Our knuckles would be hurting from so much fist bumping. Like, I'm feeling you. But John's on the way other side. He thinks McGregor wins by KO. And
Yeah. How you don't even
And
give him
then-
a chance is the thing.
But John,
Like
I
I'll give Floyd a chance. Obviously, he's Floyd Mayweather. You don't even give Conor a chance. You think it's that lopsided, and it's not. And you should know better. You watch fights. You've seen more upsets. Come on. When Mike Tyson fought Buster Douglas, no one thought that was
what
possible.
he's saying is not untrue. I've seen upsets, and I've seen bigger upsets with the odds, but this is just one of those where there's zero chance. There's not even point.
How can you say that? You
let me ask you this. Is there a greater chance of Steph Curry right now, best point guard we have in the world, to drive the ball to the paint, go hard, and dunk it over current Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
There'd be a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, so greater chance than that than Conor beating Floyd.
Yeah.
I think Curry can dunk over Shaq before Conor beats
But
Floyd.
would you have said, could Curry have dunked over Shaq when Shaq was playing for the Lakers and he won 3 world titles?
Yes.
I still think there's a better chance.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
possible.
okay.
It's
All right,
possible.
I'm just throwing it out there.
What would happen if Conor boxed Floyd Mayweather Sr.? Tell the truth.
Oof. Floyd Sr. is pretty good.
I
I
can't
can even
believe what I'm hearing.
I don't know. I mean, again, the age, obviously.
If today
right?
Floyd Mayweather
but Floyd
said,
Mayweather Sr.
I
is
will
pretty
not be
good.
fighting, and it will be my dad, so he's got 2.5 months to train himself.
No, I mean, come
Who
on,
would win
man.
that
I mean,
boxing match?
The age-wise, of course you have to give it to Conor because of the age.
Do you think Conor would
and
win that
everything.
boxing
I mean,
match
just
over
because of
Floyd?
I think
age,
so too,
man.
but I think
Because of
Floyd's dad
age
was
and but I'll say this: he's not going to knock out Floyd Sr. in the first 3 rounds like this guy's saying he's going to do the Junior.
Oh,
That's not going to happen. Floyd Sr.'s pretty good, man. You got to give him his props. He's pretty good.
You don't want to give Conor any props?
No, I'm giving Conor plenty
In
of
MMA,
props.
he's amazing.
He's amazing.
Phenomenal.
I love it. As an athlete, he's amazing.
If you throw him, if
He's
you
a
lump
great
him
martial
into
artist.
the great combat sports athletes,
Yes.
entertaining, talented,
Yes.
But as far as a boxer, professional boxer, against Floyd Mayweather, he has no chance, John. Zero chance.
Okay. I can't wait. I wish I could push the fast forward button right now.
August
to
26th isn't that far.
So do I.
It is right around the corner.
So do I. But see, you have the ultimate. Well, what do you want from me? He's just, he tried his hand at boxing, but he's an MMA. So there's really nothing I can say. I can't come back in here and go, you see, I told you. I won't feel good about that because I knew it all along. And all you have to do is go, well, I misread the fight or whatever, and that's that. We move on. But
no, I'll give you mad props.
But
you think it's going to be a circus act? You don't even think it's going to be close. You think he's just going to beat to shit?
Yeah.
No.
No.
So what do you think will be the fallout? Like, let's say I'm right. Let's say Floyd knocks him out in 3 or less.
Yeah.
What's the fallout for Conor and for MMA?
There isn't one. The only thing that would happen is if he had wanted to continue in MMA, and it was a vicious KO, you just don't want to get viciously KO'd because you can only have your dance card punched, a certain amount of times.
True.
But, other than that, he's going to get paid very well to do this. And others. So let's talk about this last topic, and then we got to talk to Dean, and we're going to do our tough recap. Do you expect to see him back in MMA? And I'll start.
Okay.
I think so, because even though he's going to make astronomical amount, I gave an example. It wasn't the greatest ever, but when those prime athletes like a Shaq or someone else, they are 26 years old, established. They became a free agent, and all of a sudden they signed that big contract, $30 million a year for the next 6 years, holds up the jersey, whatever. But then what happens to all those aging athletes? They still want to get that last ring or their first ring. So what do? They go from $30 million a year and they sign that $5 million exemption. Why? Because they can still perform at a high level. It's fun, and competitive juices. So I think Conor, sure, he might make 50, 75, a million. But this guy was starting to average, we're hearing 10, maybe 15 or whatever. And I think he just loves to do it, So I think he will come back to MMA.
Baseball
and fight.
players play baseball, football players play football, and
That's
fighters
That's
fight.
the part I believe that he will come back and fight in MMA. However, I also believe he's very selective of who he fights and certain matchups that are out there. So it is not the end of the world that his lady got pregnant right when Khabib and Ferguson and some of those monsters were headed his way. I'll tell you that much. That I co-sign on. What do you think? He'll be back in MMA?
I think he's gone. I don't think he comes back.
Are you saying that he wouldn't have beat Ferguson or he wouldn't have beat Khabib? Is that where you're headed to?
I don't think he would have beat Khabib. No. I don't think he would have beaten Khabib.
This is your family. You realize this? You're related to this man.
I know.
He's your brother.
Do you think he would have beaten Khabib?
No, I don't think he would have beaten him, but I think he would have had a good chance.
Are we talking about Conor?
Yeah.
I think he would have knocked out Khabib.
Thank you. Finally, we agree on something.
Yeah, no, like I said, I didn't say I wasn't a Conor fan. I love Conor. I'm just saying, we're talking about boxing.
I got to get back.
I think he would have knocked out Khabib.
Did you think he was going to beat Aldo?
No.
I didn't. Yeah, at the time, I didn't think he was going to beat Aldo either.
So you're just
I thought he had a better chance at the Aldos of the world than the wrestlers of the world. The wrestlers seem to like what Chad Mendes did to him. I felt that was a blueprint that a lot of people could do.
Can I flip the script on that though for a second and say and granted again, I understand Chad Mendes only had 7 days or 10 days
it
train
matter,
for,
but
for the fight.
A little bit under 2 weeks.
But we always talk about how he took him down.
He did.
How about the fact though that Conor got up. He got up and then knocked him out. Did what he's supposed to do. If you're a quarterback, you throw the ball.
I know,
you're a running back,
but
you
still,
run the ball.
that's a lot easier to do against an athlete that only got 2 weeks to train for you.
True. Still did it.
He did, yeah.
So
how about Nate couldn't even take him down?
Well, he's not a wrestler.
He's
not a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. And Nate was going to knock him out anyway.
Okay.
That's why he tapped.
Yeah. 866-522-2846. Let's talk to Dean in Georgia. What's up, Dean? Please bring some sanity to the show.
Man, how's it going? Angelo, John, welcome to the studio.
What's up,
Hey,
man?
thanks, my man.
Now, Angelo is usually the worst at picking fights because he just picks with complete emotion.
Yes.
He's partially. I think he's right on this one, but I think it probably goes maybe 4th to the 5th. I think potentially Floyd will play with him a little, but then if Conor gets lucky with a couple of things, then he's just going to beat him by accumulation. This is like taking this weekend's fight. Holly Holm versus Betch Correa, who could win in a boxing match? It's similar.
Yeah. No, Holly destroy her. But I thought Holly was going to destroy her this Saturday, anyways.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean,
if they threw on boxing gloves and said you can't take down, you can't kick, who wins? That's the similar.
Yeah.
And I'll take that off the air. You guys have a great day.
All right, see you, Dean.
That was a good call.
Yeah.
That was a good call. Good job, Dean.
Oreo in Alberta, Canada. What's up, Oreo?
Hey guys, slow week today, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
I just had a quick question about the Mayweather-McGregor. I know you guys probably talked about it all day, but I'm just wondering, in terms of media like you guys, do you get any interviews or any, trainers coming into the studio or anything like that during the fight?
For this fight? Maybe we might be able to might be able to work something out.
You mean from each camp? Or is he talking about from each camp?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure you guys will get people. Yeah.
It's just, can we hold a straight face? You know what I mean? Can we hold a straight face?
Can we not get knocked out by one side?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks, guys. I just wanted to know.
Well, is
Thank
that all
you.
you want to know? If we're gonna get interviews, or what are your thoughts on the fight? Do you think anyone's gonna win, or bet in the draw? What?
No,
You got to
I
sit on
think-
something.
I think the odds. Well, okay, I think Mayweather's gonna win, but I'm waiting to see for the prop bets to see if I can make some money, like whether or not it goes all 12 rounds, or whether or not like good odds on that. But I think Mayweather's gonna win. I don't see Conor winning because like he gets hit by good boxers. Like Nate Diaz got him,
Thank you.
So I just don't see how he can win, to be honest. Like Maidana was had crazy stuff, but even then Floyd just sat on the stool and figured him out. So I don't see how Conor, even if he goes crazy or whatever, unless he gets a leg kick on him or something, I don't see how he can win. What do you guys think?
I think I'm going to bet the
I don't see how he can win either.
proposition Will goes shove his foot through his television. I'll bet that because that's probably going to happen at the end of the
Oreo?
No, me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How about prop bet
Thanks,
this?
Oreo, for
Do
the
you
call.
guys think Conor would do something like, let's say he's losing?
It's in his contract that he can't. He'll lose money.
How much money?
He does not like to lose any money.
Okay.
So I'd doubt
Like you don't think a spinning elbow is going to happen?
Oh, in the
or-
contract, if he kicks, he gets penalized?
Yeah, elbows,
Really?
all that stuff. Now, elbows
He
are
could get disqualified, too.
Okay, how do we know? Because Conor, obviously he's a mixed martial artist. So how about a takedown? I've seen it happen in boxing by accident.
Yeah, like a throw or something.
Just oops.
Yeah.
Oh. Is there a contract that says
I don't know.
you can't take
said,
him down?
They asked Leonard Ellerby and Dana White. They said, how much are they getting paid or whatever? And they said confidentiality. But in this state, everything's open to the public.
Right.
So we will find out their salaries.
Okay.
And Floyd's usually disclosed it anyway.
Yeah. He usually puts it on Instagram.
Right. So we, yeah. Well, no, those are his gambling losses. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? They will disclose it at some point. We'll find out what they're getting paid. I don't know if we'll find out the criteria and what they negotiated on in the contract, but I'm sure that had to come up.
Okay. So let me ask you this: when the prop bets come out, Conor by knockout, 20-1, you don't throw $10 on it?
Yes, I will.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we went from
But
he
it's
has
like-
no chance. You just told me 5 minutes ago.
John, I walk into a 7-Eleven and get a couple dollars for the big lotto. You know what I mean? You just got to do it. You just got to do it.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
But I won't feel good about it. I'll be like,
you feel like you're burning that $10.
He's not putting a down payment on anything or anything like that.
All right, fair enough.
Because it'll have some value if, like I say, if lightning struck.
Right.
To go called it, and do that number.
Sure.
But
you won't mean it when you bet it.
No, 10's probably the most I would go.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
10 on Conor, but with a few other things. Conor with an early knockout parlay, hopefully. Maybe that gets me like 500 or something off $10. I don't know.
Yeah, probably, actually.
Are you going to bet it?
Yeah, of course.
What are you
going to
put on it?
I don't know. I got to see what the odds are. Definitely going to take Conor by knockout. Definitely.
Okay.
But
You're not gonna be
everybody
burning
laughed at me when I
shop.
had
Will it be-
Weidman by knockout the first time he fought Silva.
Will it be closer to 20, 100, 500, 1,000?
I think it's 100.
100?
I think it's 100.
Respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as Floyd, would you put 1,000 to win 100?
No.
Why, though?
Because I don't trust boxing. Not that I don't trust. Not that I don't trust.
Yeah.
He saw
Floyd or
Pacquiao,
Conor.
Bradley won.
Yeah.
So he
I
knows.
don't trust
I
boxing.
had Pacquiao. Bradley won. I had Pacquiao.
Would you put 1,000 to win 100 on Floyd?
Okay, would I put $1,000
If I-
to
if-
win $100?
Yeah. Again, somebody.
It's not fun to put
kidnaps you.
$1,000 on
No,
anything.
listen
But
to me.
why? Conor has no chance, remember?
Someone kidnaps you.
Okay.
All right. And,
Okay.
and they
This is
go,
a better
The
scenario.
Russians
This is a
again?
better scenario for me.
The Russians again?
This is more realistic.
we'll go
So
with the
somebody
Ukraine.
kidnaps me.
Ukraine.
Okay.
No, we'll go with the.
This is more realistic.
Yeah, I don't want to piss off any
Yeah.
particular mafia that always gets brought up.
Let's
So
get the Colombians
Let's go the
involved.
Colombians. The
Oh,
Colombians
great.
come in and they kidnap
Thanks,
you,
guys.
and they go, "Let's go to the bank."
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And you go to the bank, and let's just say you happen to have 10 G's in there. You may have way more or way less. We don't know. I'm just
Okay.
saying. But they go and they make you pull it out, and you're like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" And they say you gotta bet on something. Would you bet on 10,000 to win 1,000 on Mayweather, or would you put the 10,000 on Conor? And if he hits, I mean, that could be like a $200,000, $300,000 payout. But you are making a bet at some point.
So I got kidnapped. They held a gun to my head.
Yeah.
They said, take your money.
Fast forward to the bet. Yeah.
All right.
Pick a fighter.
No, I'm picking Mayweather. There's no way I'm putting it. Yeah. Because you know, what's in it for me? If I put 10 grand
Nothing,
on
because the
Conor.
Colombians take it all. right?
Exactly.
Once you cash the check.
No, man, I'm putting it on Floyd.
I think that's the safer bet, right? 10,000 to win 1,000. Then to do Conor, 10,000 to win a brand new home or whatever.
I'm worried about the fact that you guys are okay with me getting kidnapped and no one made a phone call. What's going on?
We didn't know it happened.
Okay.
Otherwise, yes, we would be there to defend. All right, let's talk The Ultimate Fighter Season 25 Redemption, which features fighters from previous seasons that are coming back for one more shot at $250,000 to become the latest Ultimate Fighter, 6-fight contract, yada, 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 $5,000 if they finish. Team Dillashaw versus Team Garbrandt. Garbrandt's team sat on the sidelines this week because it was 2 fighters from Team Dillashaw, Gilbert Smith versus Diego Lima. We're going to have Jason the intern recap this for us. Without further ado, here's Jason the intern.
How's it going, boys? It's a little hostile over there today.
a little bit. Russians, Colombians.
Yeah,
kidnapped left and right.
Yeah.
I know. Jeez, there's some interesting topics, but everybody take a deep breath and now maybe take over and we can get back to MMA for a little bit because this is MMA Junkie Radio. So
okay.
Fire away.
So episode 9 of The Ultimate Fighter happened last night, and of course, we're in the quarterfinal round. This is the second matchup, and like Gigi said, it was TJ Dillashaw versus TJ Dillashaw, 2 team members, and of course that happens when you reach the quarterfinals because they dominated like heck in the preliminary round. So TJ was kind of, a lot of coaches would sit back and go, well, I'm not going to be involved in this, but he stepped up and said, hey, I'm here to coach, so I'm going to coach Diego Lima like he's going to be fighting Gilbert Smith, and I'm going to coach Gilbert Smith like he's fighting Diego Lima. So I respected that about him because a lot of coaches would sit back, but he didn't pick a side. He was straight down, even, and coach these guys like they were going to fight each other. And they didn't seem to mind it at all, so it worked out for the best. Leading up, Gilbert Smith, all the fighters went out. They had a good time. I was a little worried because some people on the show have a reputation, like JT Money, who's obviously in a better place now, but he got kicked off The Ultimate Fighter for partying too much. So I was a little worried about them going out, but nothing bad happened. They went out, got some steaks, had a few drinks, had a good time. But Gilbert Smith wasn't into it at all, man. He was focused on the fight. He even went into the bathroom of the steakhouse that they were at and actually started running. He was not into anything but fight mode. So that was a little weird to me. I mean, I think he should kick back and relax, but he didn't want any of that. And it looked like it paid off because this fight was an absolute brawl. It was between Diego Lima, who beat Haida Hassan in the preliminary round, and then Gilbert Smith, who beat Seth Brzezinski in the preliminary round, both by unanimous decision under 2 rounds. And going into this fight, like I said last week, Diego, he's a tall, long, rangy striker, likes to use his kicks, and Gilbert Smith, the grappler. So it's a classic grappler versus striker match, and Gilbert Smith was looking for the takedown. Right away, coming out off the bell, Diego was doing a nice job of making this a long fight, using his distance, didn't want to get too close to Gilbert, he kicked a few times to the body, but didn't kick enough so where Gilbert could maybe time it and get a single leg and look for a takedown. So he did a good job off the bat at keeping the distance. But, of course, Gilbert backed him up a little bit into the cage, something Diego does a lot. That's how he lost the Season 19 of The Ultimate Fighter, is he likes to back up too much against the cage, and he's kind of caught in the corner. But he bounced off the cage, and Gilbert just went in for a single leg, got him down, and that's what Gilbert wanted to do, make it a dirty fight. Doesn't want this fight really on the feet. In the clinch, throw some dirty shots, some knees, some body shots and stuff. Wear Diego down. He's the faster, he's the longer striker. Excuse me. Gilbert then all of a sudden got in the clinch, started throwing some dirty shots, and eventually got Diego to the ground. So now we're in his world. Gilbert did a good job, not really, didn't throw a lot of strikes, but he was trying to advance his position, so I don't mind that. A lot of people call it stalling, but he is trying to advance his position to possibly end the fight. So I didn't mind that at all, but Gilbert Smith throwing some shots on the ground, landed a couple towards the end, but one thing that Diego did really good was wall walk up the cage and get back up to his feet at times. He wasn't just there getting dominated the whole round. So I would have to give the first round to Gilbert Smith, but Diego did show improvements against a strong wrestler in Gilbert Smith. Any comments, boys?
Okay. All right, so I will say this. I think Gilbert should have just taken an Uber or asked one of the vans to take him back because, yeah, that did look a little bit weird. If you didn't want to be there, go out, eat your meal or whatever, your salad, and get the hell on out of there. All that, on
I thought he was in too deep.
Yeah.
When somebody says, like, hey, what's your deal, then you have to either embrace it or snap out of it. I think you just
running in the bathroom and doing that, that's, really, if you're that focused, then get out of there and go home and rest. As far as the first round, it was close, man. I really don't know. TJ said it best. He goes, I don't know what's going on. All 3 rounds were fairly close. I think Lima probably clearly won round 3, but I was so consumed with so many things they were doing as far as, like, the takedowns, the kicks, the punches, that I wasn't even worried about scoring. I didn't even want to rewind. I just wanted to enjoy it. Both guys had a lot of heart, and I thought Diego of the two was the more talented fighter, but Gilbert rallied. He started throwing a straight left that they kept telling him he'd have success with, and even though he had a shorter reach, he was actually catching Lima with it. So I was thinking, wow, we might have an upset here. The Garbrandt team, they're watching, and they're just enjoying the fight too. Even the coach, Cody Garbrandt, saying, great job, boys. Way to put it out there. I know Jason has a few more rounds to cover, but overall, I just think the season needed like a good all-out fight like what we saw.
Yeah, and I'm kind of sad to see Gilbert go because I think he could be successful.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the UFC, but somewhere else.
Yeah. Jason, in round 2, who did you have scoring? Who did you have winning that fight? Let's give us that recap real fast.
Well, round 1, I had Gilbert because I thought he controlled most of the clinch and on the ground, so I had to give round 1 to him. Round 2, Diego did a better job of takedown defense. There was a lot of times where Gilbert shot and he either stuffed it or Gilbert had him in the clinch and he turned around and put Gilbert's back against the clinch, and he just landed more strikes than Gilbert, and the clinch was about even, so I had to give round 2 to Diego Lima. I just thought he was the more effective striker and implemented his game plan more in round 2. Obviously, the judges must have agreed with me some way because we're headed to a round 3 for the first time this season. We've never seen a third round, so we're heading into a third round. And one thing that Diego did really good in this round is he was keeping Gilbert on the end of his punches. So he was using his jab, using his 1-2, using his kicks, and every time Gilbert would use that left hook that was working for him in the first and second round, Gilbert would slip out of it, make sure it doesn't hit, and then fire back with a leg kick or something. So that's what he needed to do to win the fight, was be that striker, get Gilbert out of his element. And it ended up, Diego actually went on the cage with Gilbert and actually got a double leg and took him down. And I wasn't expecting that at all because I was like, you're trying to defend the takedown the whole fight in the first 2 rounds, and now you're looking for it. But it's the third round. It's the final call by the judges, so you got to do whatever it takes. And he realized that, saw an opening for a takedown, ended up trying to get his back, but Gilbert just being so strong, stood up, and actually Diego was going in the clinch again, and Gilbert got him down. But this time, Diego, being a long, lanky guy, threw it up for a triangle, and it looked really tight. He had everything perfect. He had the foot under the knee right there, and Gilbert tried to use the right defense and step over the legs of Diego, but Diego ended up hooking that leg. And I couldn't really see, but I think it was just because 3-on fight, sweaty, Diego's legs started to slip, and the hold just loosened up over the end. Eventually, they both got back to the feet, but I would have to give round 3 to Diego.
Yeah.
He was more effective on the ground, even in his guard, and he did a better job at striking. And the judges gave it to Diego. It was a great fight. First 3-round fight of the season. I really enjoyed it, but I would have to agree that Diego Lima did take 2 out of the 3 rounds. And it's sad because after the fight, Gilbert said, like, I'm 35. This probably, is my last shot. And he ended up leaving his gloves in the octagon with all the fighters in both teams and said this was his last ride.
That's the first time we've seen a retirement on the show.
I think so.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool. He was
Yeah.
emotional, and everybody gave him a lot of respect because, again, they had just fought a war. So it was cool to see both teams, kind of come together. They even had I think a tough 25 chant. So that was I liked it. I liked that moment. Now catch us up now as far as who's advanced in this tournament. Diego Lima's advanced. Hyder Hassan is. What are the matchups? I know we have two next week, but Hyder's advanced too, right?
Yeah, Hyder's advanced, and he's taking on Jesse Taylor.
Yeah.
So this is where we'll get a Team Cody versus Team TJ matchup. So that's next week. Jesse Taylor, as we saw, a great wrestler. Hyder Hassan won the wild card matchup against Joe Stevenson, lost his preliminary round. This season they have a wild card where someone who lost can advance. So he did that. And he had a good knockout against Joe Stevenson. So he's going to want to work in that wrestling defense, especially with a strong guy like Jesse Taylor.
Yeah.
And then we got Ranji Nisham versus James Krause, who's actually in the UFC. That's one thing about this season is James Krause is in the UFC and decided to go back to the Ultimate Fighter House Redemption. So 2 fights next week, and it's going to be a good one. I like these 2-fight episodes, so it's going to be jam-packed full of action and not so much talking, which I like, boys.
They teased that there's an injury. So my prediction is, I don't know who the injury is, but my prediction is that Eddie Gordon will now get a chance to come back. I think he's the most qualified.
Kind of deserved it earlier.
Of them all, unless they have a soft spot for Gilbert and say that was one hell of a fight. You fight yet again. So that would be my number 2 choice. But I think we learned the lesson from Stevenson. Hey, you just had a great fight. You need rest more than anything.
Plus, if I'm Eddie, I'm going, isn't he retired?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
It could be. So we're definitely looking forward to it. And we get more TJ versus Cody Garbrandt fisticuffs behind the scenes. Looks like they go at it again.
Yeah, love it. So that's one thing that they focused on at the very first episode was TJ versus Cody, and they kind of pushed that down our throats. A lot of people are like, I'm here for the fighters. We know they hate each other. We get it by now. But they're kind of going back to that. Unfortunately, like we know, the fight won't happen at 213 anymore, but it gets me hyped up. So hopefully we get to see that fight soon because I kind of like the bickering a little bit.
I'm with you. How's everything going back up in the Couve? When can we hear your first episode of your podcast? You going to get that going pretty soon?
Yeah, I've got a guy making a pretty nice for me. I'm getting all the tools in my little home studio here because I want to create the best quality podcast I can. So definitely going to happen soon. I'm working hard on it. So I'll let you guys know when everything's finished, and I'll let Junkie Nation know because they were very supportive about the idea. So I can't wait to get the first episode rolling and have you guys take a listen to it.
Awesome, Jason. All right, well, thanks for coming on and recapping Tough 25 Episode 9. We look forward to next week. Got 2 fights coming our way and more Cody versus TJ. Should be a fun episode.
Sounds good. Talk to you later, boys. Take care.
See you, Jason. We're going to go to a commercial. Follow Jason on Twitter at Jason Buckamer 8. That's JASONBUCHAMER 8. Also,
There
our
were 7
co-host.
other jokers with the same name?
I guess so, yeah. Our co-host here, Angelo Reyes, from the Cage Siders. He can be followed personally at Reyes Striking. Also, John Orlando, who co-hosts Action Junkies. He can be followed at John Orlando. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Russian 83. Stay close.
show.
Do you think he lands a punch?
Can you imagine if
Does
Max
Conor land a punch?
Kellerman interviews him and he says, "I will now walk across to
Does-
the Bellagio
does-
and walk on water," and everybody would walk over there and watch him do it.
Does Conor land a punch? Tell me that.
Yeah.
Max Kellerman said,
Does he land a
Conor
left?
does
They
not
pat
land.
down TSA agents because
night.
they don't know where those people have been. And because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
John Orlando at John Orlando can be follow it on Twitter at John Orlando. But he's got a podcast called Action Junkies with Jake Ellenberger. It drops once a week, and you can subscribe on iTunes. Go in there, subscribe, give them a rating as well. Those ratings and reviews help a ton. That's ACTIONJUNKEEZ, Jake Ellenberger and John Orlando, once a week. Again, great podcast. I was a guest of theirs a few weeks ago. Cool spot that they have over there at the Hollywood Park. So catch them live sometime.
You're our most listened to show to date.
No shit.
I swear on my life. You even beat Boss Rutan. I
Really?
swear on my life.
That's
Want me to
pretty
come
good.
back?
How about that? Yeah. We need more of you.
And then Angelo Reyes co-hosts the Cage Siders podcast, and you can subscribe to them on iTunes as well. Give them a rating and a review. Recent guests, Al Bernstein, Damon Martin, Mike Pendleton, King Mo, so they do a great job as well.
I've
been on their show as well. Did I crush the
yeah,
ratings
no,
there too?
your ratings are pretty good, but we're always trying to get you on, and
Angelo,
we're trying to
those
get him.
invites though.
I'm
Those
sorry,
invites are like-
dude. I'm
you
sorry.
Can, I mean, you can.
I'm gonna have to talk to the guy who books
It'll
guests
be
for
Sunday,
this.
like around 10, and he'll go, "Hey, can you get here at 1:15?"
Oh, you're the last minute prom
And
date?
it's not that I can't get there in 3.5 hours, but it's
You know
it's,
what we- you know
I
what
mean,
we
it's
need to do?
plainly obvious that 10 other people fell out.
No.
And
Okay,
then
wait.
you finally got to me.
On record, let me ask you this:
No, but
would
I
you like to
probably
come
just
in?
might have had plans
Would you
or
like to
something
come into TV studio? Because that's what I was asking him. Andrew Simon was just on our TV show, and other than the fact that it was hot, apparently.
Oh, he said
At
there was
our
no AC,
studio.
right?
But if you and Goes would want to come on, that'd be fine.
We're
That'd
not
be
magpies. You can bring us in separately.
Oh, okay. We can do
we're not
that too.
magpies?
Whichever, however you guys want to do it.
I mean, we're not
We'd love
always
to have you.
together. I mean, I guess we could do it
I
together.
don't even
but-
know what that reference is.
Well, you know Heckle and Jekyll, how they were always together. That's what I'm
I
saying.
guess.
Oh, like Penn and Teller.
Yeah, I like that better.
Okay. Yeah.
No, of course. If you want
Yeah,
us together,
okay,
we'll
cool.
do it, or separately, or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But I just don't want Goes to bring down my numbers in case the ratings aren't good.
Okay.
What it
All
boils
right,
down
we'll do
to.
it separate then.
Yeah.
We'll do a Go show.
Follow them on
I'm gonna
Twitter
start a podcast
at
with
Reyes
Anna.
Striking.
This is the only
at
person I
John
like in the
Orlando,
studio right now.
And listen to them. Of course, Angelo comes from the boxing background, but it looks like they are obviously chatting MMA. And John's a former comedian, and him and Jake dive into many topics, not just MMA. But we all know Jake, obviously an active MMA fighter. I'm sure that's covered. I'm sure Mayweather and McGregor will be covered as well.
Sure.
Does Jake have any opinions?
Yeah, what did Jake say?
Does he say anything yet?
He thinks Floyd, but wants Conor.
But he
Likes to see Conor
definitely
win, but he
So that's kind of like
believes
I'm
Floyd.
in the corner of the MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There'll be a lot of
Whose
that.
corner are you in? Are you in the boxing corner? or
Oh,
the
I'm
MMA
on
corner?
Floyd's corner, man.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Floyd all the way. Money team. Hard work, dedication.
All right, and you're in Connor's corner, obviously. How about you guys?
I'm in Floyd's corner.
Thank you, Goes.
Really?
Like you want
Thank
him
you,
to win.
Goes.
I just want. I want.
You're hurt.
Justice.
Goes.
I want justice. Is basically.
That's
Oh, okay.
justice?
Yeah, that's.
Goes gets to come with us
The
at the
same way
Mayweather
if
gym
that fight
tomorrow.
took place in the cage, I would
Thank
want
you,
Conor.
Goes.
Because that's justice. That's restoring justice.
But
to
you're
the
also
world.
an MMA guy.
Well, what is that? It doesn't really prove anything, though. If they fought 10 times, there's no way Conor wins 10 times.
So when
right?
Brock Lesnar came over to the UFC, what did you want?
I wanted him to get used. Brock
You did?
Lesnar. Yeah, because it's insulting.
Well, obviously it wasn't that insulting, though, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
But at least he has like a
Frank
wrestling
Mir
back. I
tapped
don't
him.
know. It's just this is the greatest fighter on. Sorry, this is the greatest boxer on the planet.
the greatest runner on earth.
Hey,
yeah,
man.
who wears
At
boxing
the end of
gloves.
the day, I'm with you. I think he avoided matchups at certain times on purpose. I don't hate him for it. But when push came to shove, dude, he took it to Canelo Alvarez.
Yes.
Right? And Canelo Alvarez.
when Canelo
Yes.
was a
Turned
baby.
around.
When he was a baby.
Still
There's
a great
always
fighter.
you see what happens
Still a great
when
fighter.
you're
And he's
so
done that
good.
to
Like
other
listen. Like
Fight
me,
Canelo
like,
out of
like,
diapers and see
okay,
what happens
listen.
now.
This is how good Floyd is, right? It's like this. Like I don't think LeBron is better than Jordan, but I can see the
God.
argument.
I gotta go.
Right? And I love LeBron. Okay, but Floyd, see, this is how good he is. He's so good that he'll still get hate from people when he clearly beat the crap out of a guy that had every advantage to beat him other than experience. And Floyd
I love how you just
schooled him.
throw that away, other than experience.
And that's what we're saying here. 40-year-old man with more experience in boxing versus Conor McGregor, who has zero experience in boxing, and you're saying Conor's going to knock him out. So what's going to happen when Floyd knocks him out?
Oh, I'm gonna
What's going to
punish
happen
you
when
on
Floyd knocks him
Twitter.
out?
I'm gonna punish you on
Okay,
Twitter.
when Floyd knocks him out, then will you like run across the Bellagio completely naked and goes
There's
and
no way Floyd Mayweather
George.
can knock Conor McGregor out.
Okay, so now
Is
we're
is
kind
Floyd,
of in bet
how's he going to
territory,
fight him?
aren't
Is he
we?
going to fight him more aggressively, or is he going to be the same old Floyd? Tell me that.
If
Same
he's-
old Floyd,
yes.
but later rounds, more aggressive, I think.
I think Floyd, all right, I think Floyd's going to watch him, like Angelo said, for about a round or two. But you know why? To see the openings, but he's gonna look at him and say, how your legs feeling? You know what I mean? You weren't ready for this, were you? You know, he's probably by then tasted a couple jabs, but I think he's going to be able to just read them and mess with them. I think he'll be able to look. There'll be a look on Conor like, what did I get myself into?
got himself into $70 million.
He did, and that's. I'm glad that he did. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
James Toney, poor guy, only got $500K when he got.
Oh, was it? I thought it was
mauled
$250, but okay.
No, that's what he
500.
weighed that night. he got paid $500K to fight Randy Couture. That one I clearly remember.
And when he knocks Floyd out, will you guys just say it was a lucky punch? Is that where we're headed?
No,
with this?
because the punch is destined for the jaw or the temple or wherever he threw it. I mean, you know, the head, obviously. So it couldn't have been lucky. I mean, unless it's not like a piñata when they put the blindfold on, spin you around, and then if you hit it, you go, oh, you got lucky. In this case, no, he knew another human being that's trying to do the same thing to him was in front of him, and so he punched him, and then it landed in a spot where the other guy
And you
went
do
down.
think Conor will land a punch?
I think so.
And so but you don't think when he lands that left, Floyd's going to get put on his ass?
No.
You don't. You think he's just going to eat it like nothing?
Well, look, I respect Conor's power, and I know that when Conor says, if I touch you, you go down, but
which history shows that that's true.
John,
On
John,
4 ounce
he'll throw like
gloves in
46 strikes, and yes, one of them eventually puts
the
you
first
down.
time he landed a left on Nate went
Okay,
down.
well, he knocked down 83 times. How come the fight wasn't officially over after the first one?
He's got to land him.
I mean, it's not knockout. It's not like if he touches you, go, wah, and that's it. Like, we have to check his pulse to see if he's alive.
Okay.
I mean, it hurts, but, you know, just because he touches him doesn't mean the fight's over. You asked me if he could land a punch. Yes, of course, he can land a punch. Can he hurt him? Possibly. He's got that type of power. But all this, I
Does
just
he
don't
get
see being high.
Does he get
higher
any
level.
street cred if he's the first one to knock Floyd down?
Yeah, hell yeah. That's a win.
Okay.
At that point, it doesn't matter what happens at the end of the fight. I consider that a win to be able to knock him on his
If he
hands.
makes it the distance, even just winning 2 rounds, I think that's a win.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
and that's
you
why I
didn't
think
even,
it's a big loss for boxing if he can't finish Conor McGregor.
Not really. Here's how I think the boxing
Dude,
world
his
will
own fans walk out of his fights, Angelo. We've been there. We've been there for the Guerrero fight.
Mm-hmm.
His own fans were pissed that after dominating a lefty, by the way, he couldn't finish him. So his own fans even get frustrated at the fact
I think
that
he hurt
he
his
can't
hand
do
on
it.
that fight, though.
He hurts at every fight, it seems like. But still, maybe, I don't know. You know, he needs to finish Conor McGregor. He really needs to.
So
At 120, 108 is not enough for me. 120, 100 is not enough for me. I don't care what it is. I think he has to finish him. Otherwise, I'm not saying it's a loss for boxing. Like the sport's gonna fall apart, or you know, it's not gonna recover because obviously boxing's flourishing. But I just think it won't look good. I think it'll give MMA people ammunition to say, you know, our guy made it with your guy, and your guy would not make it with our guy. You know, like that type of shit. Monday chatter.
It's
What's
interesting.
the bet?
For what?
We've all been way too loud to not have something right.
I know John needs to pay repercussions for the fact
Conor by KO inside of 3.
Or
I don't know. Let's talk through it. What do you want?
I want him to like Game of Thrones shame, like just walk him through the Mandalay Bay.
There you go. Okay, how about we'll put him in a there's not a diaper big enough for a male, right? Or do they make them?
All right, how about this?
I want to walk him in a diaper, and then we will put, you know how Mike Tyson cut a hole? It looked like inside of a poncho.
Towel?
Yeah, and we will write on the inside, I was dumb enough to pick Conor McGregor. That's why I look like this.
How far can we march him like that?
We get to walk him all over Mandalay Bay for half an hour. After half an hour, it's all over.
Done. Yep.
And
Done.
What happens to us?
Yeah. Tell me what happens to you.
He's not going to win. I'm not sweating.
Oh,
you can actually
God.
tell me that you can shoot a bow and arrow at me. And I would say, okay. I'll actually go, yeah, put it down.
I can't wait.
You can launch me out of a cannon at a circus. You can throw me off the Grand Canyon. I'll agree to anything right now.
When he knocks out Floyd.
You can shoot me in the leg. You can cut a toe off.
When he knocks out Floyd, we get him on this show. And I come on and you guys just praise me in front of him.
You got it.
For having been the one that called it out.
You got it.
Okay.
You can
I
host
like
that
it.
shit.
Yes.
I like it.
How are we
Okay.
doing, Danny, on commercials? Do we have any more?
We have 1, 2.5.
One more. All
We
right.
have MMA history, and we have DJ Tony on hold.
Let's get TJ Tony on, and then goes. Danny's gonna do the MMA history, right? All right. So first, Tony. What's up, Tony? How you doing?
Coming at you, gentlemen. Shout out to GG, of course, who will be on championship rounds with GG tonight on AMP Radio. Listen, I agree with GG when he says, like the great legend that is Axel Foley, look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in the tailpipe. And shout out, of course, to my Bay Area brother, Angelo Reyes. But are you sure you have John Orlando there and not Tony Orlando? Because look, man, let me tie this yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. And please allow me to be candid. Duh. Look, I don't know if Mayweather is going to knock 3 times, but he should win single-handedly. I think John is pulling our leg here, and I think he just wants more action.
He just
the
agreed to a
Action
bet,
Junkies
though.
podcast.
He just agreed to a bet.
I just agreed to a crazy bet.
Yeah, it's not very fun at all on his end.
Diapers I'm going to wear?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm going to wear? And some sort of poncho? With
I'm
diapers?
stupid enough to.
Yeah, and if I can find some big stiletto heels, I may even make you wear those.
That means I really got to focus on legs in the gym for the next couple of months then, probably, right? If I am going to be walking around this joint in diapers.
Yeah.
It'll look a little better.
Oh man, that's
Tony.
I do think that if you're going to place that bet and he's going to wear diapers, I do think that John Orlando should be singing a Tony Orlando song on the strip and allow at least 30 minutes for people to take photos with him. That's what I think we should do, gentlemen. Shout out to, of course, Angelo Reyes. Go Warriors. And I'm out of here, gentlemen.
All right, see you, Tony.
Hey, can we put him on that bridge and just put a hat in front of him with the sign?
Like that guy in New York in Times Square.
I
You
like
want
the
me to wear a
picture
cowboy
idea because
hat?
then it could maybe go viral. you
I
know?
like his idea. I like his idea
Walk
about him
over to
singing.
whatever divides the New York and the
Yeah.
MGM. That one's got a lot of traffic, right?
Uh-huh.
We get them through all of here, and then maybe you can ride that little expressway because every minute is vital, and then walk them on that bridge.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Take
I like that.
Take a picture with me. Yeah, we'll put on the back. Take a picture with me, and on the front, I was dumb enough to pick Conor McGregor against Floyd Mayweather. It's on.
It's on.
Is that the Snapchat or is that Instagram?
This is Facebook Live.
Oh, nice.
Which I've never done before.
Okay, well that'll be
Really?
recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a monster. You'll like it.
Really?
Yeah, I did
There's
Facebook
people
Live
actually
yesterday.
watching. It's crazy.
I did Facebook Live yesterday at the MMA at the UFC headquarters.
Yeah.
By the way, let me tell you, have you been there, Angelo?
What's that?
The new UFC headquarters?
Yes, I was there 2 weeks ago. It's really cool.
It's only
Super
been
awesome.
open for a week. How'd you do that?
No,
I'm just
It
kidding.
was
I know,
2
I
weeks
know, I
ago.
know.
Yeah.
No, Angelo, of course, trains MMA fighters. Who are you training?
Right
Anyone
now.
from Cameroon?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no. I think he's training with Dewey Cooper right now.
Gotcha.
No, just working with Anna right now to make sure, you know. that,
You want me to change the topic, don't
yeah,
you? How about
yeah,
the Warriors?
yeah,
All right.
well,
So let me give you a quick recap. It is a beautiful facility. I mean, very impressed. That big screen they had is probably on par with that one.
Size-wise?
In their lobby. Yeah, it's a beast. Crystal
That is
clear.
pretty big.
They were actually playing Conor and Eddie Alvarez. That's why I was able to jump on you real fast.
Right.
He actually knocked down Alvarez a few times and then eventually finished him. But then we
awesome.
walked through a labyrinth of hallways and you know, through offices and you know, cubicle space and stuff like that until we got to the press room, which is very, very cool. They're still ironing out some wrinkles. Oh, we didn't think of that. You know, like, where can we put the tripods? Where can we do this? So they're figuring that out. It's less than a month old, but I mean, huge, tip top. It is very, very impressive. Then they open the curtain, and the press room can actually watch the training center. They open the curtain. The problem was, this is where they realized they have to iron out a few wrinkles. There's a glare in the mid-afternoon that didn't allow for the cameras to be affected, so we had to close it again. But when they opened it, you can see a few fighters in there. There's an area where the fighters can chill and relax. There's a huge cafeteria, like they said. There's everything, man. Everything
Yeah,
you
I
could ever
believe they
want.
provide the food for the fighters too when they're there, nutrition. It's amazing.
It was very cool. So
Amazing.
kudos to the UFC. I don't even think I saw 25%, and I was pretty damn impressed.
Yeah.
There's still a lot more. All right, folks, you're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back to close up shop.
They are the stretch marks on the underbelly of the MMA community. But hey, stretch marks are the new tats. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
All right, tomorrow we're going to have Chase Coburn in studio, and we're also going to be joined by Evelyn Rodriguez from Combate. She will co-host the show with us. So we're looking forward to that. And we'll see if we can maybe pick the brain of another journalist, because there's a lot going on out there, not just with McGregor and Mayweather, but how about the launch of MMAJA, which kind of got overshadowed after the first few hours by this historic announcement of Mayweather versus McGregor. But I'd definitely like to get maybe one of the other officers, Chad Dundas or Ben Folks, probably Ben more than likely. Ariel Helwani's involved, Mark Raimondi, Josh Gross, to talk a little bit more about that. All right, let's. I want to close with something. I want to see how much.
Hey. What about MMA history?
Fire away, Danny.
All right. So June 15th, 1997, 20 years ago today, a 26-year-old Dan Henderson made his professional MMA debut and defeated Crezio de Souza and Eric Smith.
That UFC? That was a UFC tournament, right? One-night tournament.
Right.
Right.
Henderson was the first fighter in MMA history to hold 2 championships simultaneously for a major promotion. Henderson holds
That's right.
victories
When he knocked
over
out Vanderlei, he was also the welterweight champ and the middleweight champ, because their version of
what I was just
welterweight
about
is
to say.
our middleweight, and their version of middleweight is our light heavyweight. You are correct, Danny. Good stuff.
Yeah, well, it's all thanks to MMA History Today. Follow them on Twitter.
At MMA History Today is their Twitter handle. Yeah. All right. Tell me 3 things about Angelo Reyes that you learned from today's show.
Oh, boy. He's got a lot of passion. He's delusional when it comes to McGregor Mayweather.
Right.
And he's, now that I am following him on Twitter, I'm going to annihilate him on August 26th, 7th, and 8th. It's going to be 3 days
of annihilation.
Of annihilation.
All right, Angela, what did you learn about John Orlando?
I did not know that he was the son of Tony Orlando, so that's cool. Very funny, very entertaining. And he has zero knowledge on combat sports. So,
man, I'm glad we put together a panel. This was a lot of fun, just hearing the different ideas and angles or whatever. Anybody want to come clean? Anybody trolling the last 2 hours? John, come on. It's Mayweather, right?
No.
You're sitting with your
Connor inside of 3.
All right,
Connor
Angelo.
inside of 3.
He's gonna knock him out.
Mayweather's going to knock him out.
Yeah.
Mayweather's going to knock him out. I really think I want you guys to look at Mayweather Gotti and also look at Mayweather Shamba Mitchell, and then you'll know what I'm talking about.
I will say this.
What about a lefty matchup? What's the
No, I
closest
know
lefty matchup?
Mayweather Shamba Mitchell.
Okay,
that's a good one to watch. So
Okay.
you guys can see how Mayweather's going to knock him out.
I will say this. I do believe Connor inside of 3, but at the same time, I will look around at adult diapers and just see what the most comfortable fit is if I am going to be walking around Mandalay Bay.
Action
for 30
Junkies
minutes.
on iTunes,
I was
Cage
actually
Siders
doing
on
that right
iTunes. Check out and on Twitter at Reyes Striking, at John Orlando, John Jon, and of course we'll be back tomorrow, folks. Quick plugs for the show at MMAjunkie Radio on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook. We also have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/MMA Radio. I'm at MMA Junkie George on Twitter and Instagram, and so is Goes is at the Goes. Consistent name there. All right, folks, we're out of here. For Angelo and John and Danny back east, that's Goes on my left. I'm George. Go out there and be champions.
Gonna have me some fun because